Me, F22, and my boyfriend, M23, have been together for 3 years now. However, I feel that I have mentally checked out of the relationship. Yet, I feel so guilty because he's not a bad person. He's never disrespected me, yelled at me, cheated, nor gave me any reasons to mistrust him. The bare minimum. I know. The bar is in hell, I know. As someone who used to have a really low self-esteem in my previous relationships, I never felt deserving enough to ask for what I wanted. That is, details such as flowers, handwritten letters, homemade meals whenever I felt sick, or surprises with chocolates and ice cream whenever I found myself in agonizing first-day period pain. Anything that would make me feel taken care of, really. When we started dating, I was so happy. I finally knew peace in a relationship because we had really good communication since the beginning and my insecurities weren't such a burden anymore. I don't remember in what exact moment my standards changed, but I knew I wanted flowers and planned dates. We don't have a lot of money, but there is always something we can do, no? I wanted to feel special. So I talked to him about it, and he listened. Nothing. I would even send him TikToks as obvious hints, and still, nothing. I slowly gave up because at the end of the day, I wanted him to want to do those things for me, not because I asked. These were some of his responses from that conversation. Me, there are things you can do that don't involve money, like sending me a letter, smiley face. Him, the stamp isn't free. Me, we could make food and have a picnic at the beach. We can go to the one with free parking. Him, gas isn't free. On my 21st birthday, I was sad because I bought books with the little money I got from my paycheck due to my hours being reduced drastically. I felt guilty, even though my favorite thing to do on my birthday is to buy the books I've been dying to get. I couldn't return them, so I was pretty bummed. His only response was, "At least you don't have to worry about paying for gas." This is because I don't have a car. Even if he apologized after that, I didn't feel any better. Even if he's a sweet guy, I couldn't help but feel resentful whenever I wondered what was I doing wrong to not deserve the treatment I've always wanted. I loved doing things for him without expecting the exact in return, but how am I supposed to feel when I realized he probably wouldn't do the same thing for me? Isn't it natural or instinctual to want to take care of your favorite person? 2024 was the worst year so far for me, since I lost 4 family members in a row, and I yet can't still process the grief from the first loss, which was the worst of them all. So I don't think I can put into words how much it killed me to only hear him say, "I'm sorry to hear that." And don't get me wrong, I never know what to say in those kind of situations either, but you can trust 100% that I will be there in other ways and do everything in my power to make you feel better. I can't comfort you with words, but do you just need a shoulder to cry on? You got it. You just want silent company? You got it. Want me to come over and make you comfort food? Bet. I understand that it's nobody's responsibility but your own to get better. But man, who wouldn't do anything to help a partner/friend/family member feel better? The moment I knew I started to mentally check out was the night I visited my grandfather at the hospital days before he died. I will not get into details about the state he was in, but it was heartbreaking. I texted my boyfriend as soon as I got to the hospital to let him know I made it okay, and minutes later I added, "Wow, this is worse than I thought," to what he only replied, "I mean, it's cancer." No shit, brother. Anyways, that was on October 31st. So, we were supposed to hang out at my best friend's after my hospital visit. My best friend was the one to pick me up at the hospital, and she asked me if I would prefer to go home instead of her Halloween get-together. She knew I was an emotional disaster. I insisted to go because I didn't want to be alone, and I found nothing more comforting than to be in the company of my best friends. I was looking forward to be with my boyfriend there too. I was dying for a hug from him at least. Until he called me to say he wasn't going to the party because he was too exhausted after his shift, which is understandable, but he never asked me how I was doing. The minute I hung up, I felt like exploding, and ever since that moment, I slowly started distancing myself, which to this day he hasn't questioned. I have always wondered if there was someone out there who would do what I've been begging for, not only in this relationship, but my previous ones as well. Have I been asking for too much? The more I distanced myself, the more I fantasized about other possibilities. But now that I've been holding myself back, I see him planning more dates and wanting to stay over more often. But now, I just want to be alone. Why do I need to make them fear losing me for them? Start acting right. I just feel so bad because I know he's not a bad person. But even if I talk to him about my needs for a third time, which to me, once is enough, I don't think I'll even want anything anymore because he'll only do it because I asked. And I feel guilty to admit that I sometimes fantasize about another man treating me better and taking care of me as I would for him, and I feel like a terrible person for it. Is that a sign I should end things?